Hey, everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something you might not expect: why being a gifted kid can feel like a burden, not a blessing. You've probably heard the stereotype: gifted kids are super smart, destined for success, right? Well, not exactly. Many gifted kids struggle with perfectionism, burnout, and even shame, and it's not their fault, it's how society sets them up. I'm going to break down why gifted kids are actually special needs, how they get trapped in a cycle of unfulfilled potential, and what we can do about it. Let's get started. Section 1. The Gifted Kid Myth. So, picture this: a kid in elementary school, maybe 8 years old, breezing through math worksheets while their classmates are still counting on their fingers. Teachers notice, parents beam, and soon, this kid's labeled a gifted. Sounds awesome, right? But here's the catch: being gifted isn't just an advantage, it comes with unique challenges that most people don't see. When I was a kid, I was one of those gifted ones. School was easy, tests were a breeze, and I'd get A's without cracking a book. But every parent-teacher conference, I'd hear the same thing: if they just applied themselves, they'd be unstoppable. My teachers saw potential, but they didn't see the problem brewing. See, when you're told you're special, you start to believe everything should come easily. And when it doesn't, that's where things get messy. Society loves to celebrate giftedness, but we rarely talk about the pressure it creates. Gifted kids are often held to impossible standards, like they're supposed to be the next Einstein or Elon Musk by age 18. A 2018 study in the Journal of Advanced Academics found that gifted children experience higher rates of anxiety and perfectionism than their peers because of these expectations. It's like being handed a blueprint for a mansion and told, build this, and it should be easy because you're smart. But nobody mentions it takes way more work to build a mansion than a simple house. Section 2. Why gifted kids struggle. Let's break down why gifted kids often hit a wall. First, there's the study habits problem. School is designed to teach kids how to learn, how to study, manage time, and build discipline. But for gifted kids, early school years are too easy. They don't need to study to ace a spelling test or solve basic math problems. So, they never learn how to study. Think about it like leveling up in a video game. Most kids start at level 1, grinding through homework and study sessions to build skills. By middle school, they're studying a few days before a test. By high school, they've got a system. But gifted kids? They skip those early levels. They're getting A's with zero effort, so they never grind for those study EXP points. Then, around 8th grade or high school, the work gets harder, and they hit a cliff. Their raw smarts aren't enough anymore, but they've got no study habits to fall back on. I remember hitting that wall in high school. I'd coasted through middle school, but suddenly, algebra and essays were kicking my butt. I didn't know how to study because I'd never had to. It was like trying to run a marathon without ever jogging a mile. And when I started getting BS or CS, I felt like a failure. Everyone kept saying, "You're so smart, what's wrong?" That's when the shame kicks in. This leads to the second big issue: the burden of expectations. Gifted kids are told they're destined for greatness. Parents, teachers, even friends say things like, "You could be anything." But that sets an impossibly high bar. It's like telling someone they should build a mansion, then getting mad when they only have a foundation after a year. A 2020 article in Gifted Child Quarterly notes that gifted kids often internalize these expectations, leading to perfectionism and fear of failure. They feel like they're failing if they're not the best, even when they're doing well. And here's the kicker. Society assumes gifted kids need less help because they're smart. But as a psychiatrist I know once said, gifted kids have special needs. Their brains work differently. They need more challenge, not less, and a different kind of support to thrive. Section 3. The shame gap and burnout. So, what happens when gifted kids hit that wall? They fall into what I call the shame gap. This is the space between what they're told they're capable of, building that mansion, and what they actually achieve, like barely laying a foundation. That gap is filled with shame, low self-esteem, and burnout. Imagine a gifted kid who's been told they're Ivy League material their whole life. They get to college applications, and maybe they don't get into Harvard or Stanford. Suddenly, they feel like a fraud. They've built their identity around being the smart kid, so anything less than perfection feels like failure. I've been there. In college, I struggled with a 2.5 GPA, while my high school friends were already graduating with honors. I felt like I'd wasted my potential. This shame gap fuels burnout. Gifted kids push themselves to meet those sky-high expectations, but when they fall short, they lose motivation. They might avoid challenges altogether, like refusing to apply to a lesser college because it's not what a smart kid does. A post I saw on X recently summed it up. A gifted kids grow up to be adults who are paralyzed by the fear of not being exceptional. That fear can trap them in a cycle of procrastination, anxiety, and depression. Section 4. How to support gifted kids. Okay, so how do we fix this? Whether you're a gifted kid, a parent, or a teacher, there are practical steps to break this cycle. Here are 4 strategies that work. 1. Stop comparing. The word gifted only exists in comparison to others. It sets kids up to constantly measure themselves against their peers, siblings, or even their own potential. If you're a gifted kid, focus on your own path. Don't worry about your friend who got into MIT or your sibling who's a doctor. If you're a parent or teacher, avoid labels like a gifted. Instead, praise effort and growth. Say, I love how hard you worked on this, and not, you're so smart. 2. Embrace the long road. Gifted kids need to know that reaching their potential takes time, way more time than their peers might need for smaller goals. Building a mansion isn't quick. If you're a gifted kid, be patient with yourself. It's okay if you're still laying the foundation while others have finished their shacks. Parents and teachers, don't push gifted kids to achieve everything now. Encourage them to take the scenic route and explore their interests without pressure. 3. Challenge, don't coddle. Gifted kids thrive on challenges that match their pace. School often moves too slowly, which is why many get bored or turn to video games that scale with their skills. If you're a parent, find ways to challenge your kid outside school, like coding boot camps, internships, or passion projects. I once knew a 16-year-old who was failing school but turned things around when he got an internship at a tech startup. He was coding apps instead of playing games because the work was exciting and hard. Teachers, give gifted kids advanced projects or leadership roles, even if they're struggling. 4. Close the shame gap. Shame comes from the gap between expectations and reality. Gifted kids can close it in 2 ways. Either work harder to meet realistic goals or lower their expectations to match their current achievements. If you're a gifted kid, try accepting where you are right now. You're not a wasted potential. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. A simple exercise to practice this. For the next month, when you're faced with a choice, like picking a restaurant or a movie, just go with the flow. Say, surprise me, and accept the outcome. It's a small way to let go of perfectionism and build self-compassion. Being a gifted kid isn't just a golden ticket. It's a unique set of needs that society often overlooks. By understanding the challenges, like poor study habits, crushing expectations, and the shame gap, we can help gifted kids avoid burnout and thrive. If you're a gifted kid, know that your road might be longer, but it's yours, and that's okay. If you're supporting one, challenge them, cheer their effort, and let them grow at their own pace. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, drop a like, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more videos on mental health and personal growth. Let me know in the comments, were you a gifted kid? And what challenges did you face? I'll see you in the next one. Peace.